what I want you all to do is go to the Small Business Center page in Facebook. And I'm doing the same thing right now. And when
Get
you
back
get
here,
there,
Jennifer.
when you get there,
Today, okay.
wait a minute, I'm trying, okay. But when you get there, there's a live video, just started 14 seconds ago. And I encourage you to share it. So I'm writing the post now and say, join us for a great, you can say whatever you want. I'm gonna just brag about conversation with Aixa, who opened her store 1 year ago. And what was the official date?
It was the 12th or the 13th.
So we're gonna say 6/12. I remember I was there.
Yes, you were.
So I posted that, and so that shares it with the people that are in my network. So hopefully you'll do the same thing and share it with some people in your network. And even if they can't join us live, they will be able to watch the video after the fact. And I'm gonna send a message and say, send your email if you want to join us on the Zoom. Because if they join us on the Zoom, they could ask questions and they can interact in ways that you can't always do if you're just watching it live. So I'm one of those guys that cannot type and talk. So that's why I was talking real slow or pausing. So hello, everyone. I'm Alan Younger. I'm the director of the Small Business Center, and I need to change the name on my screen just in case you want to learn more about what I do. So I am renaming that, and I can't type and talk, but I'm going to try. If you would like to know more about the Small Business Center, you can visit our website. So I can't type and talk because I just had a couple typos. Y'all didn't see them, but y'all could just know that it wasn't pretty. All right, so there, forsythtech.edu/SBC. I want to encourage you all to do the same thing, because if people want to contact you, this is a good way for them to be able to do it. And guess what? I'm going to give you a marketing tip. No matter what meeting you're in, rename yourself if you're in a Zoom meeting like this, because people may not, the meeting may not be about you and people may not hear you speak or anything, but by seeing your email address or your website or your business name, they may say, I want to get in touch with him or her. And so it doesn't cost you any money. And it costs you less than a minute. I mean, if it takes you more than a minute to type, you got problems like me. You know, I can't talk and type at the same time, but it normally takes us just a few seconds to put on the screen what we want people to know about us. So what we're doing today is we're going to hear from Aixa. Aixa is a superstar. She knows that. I want y'all to know that too. She's such a superstar that she's going to invite you to check her out this weekend. Friday and Saturday, there's a big celebration of her grand opening that was a year ago. So this is an anniversary of the grand opening. And guess what? You probably don't even have to wear your mask this year. Like last year, we were all freaking out because last June, you know, the numbers were rising and we were going up. And this woman had the audacity to go ahead and start her business anyway. You know what? That's awesome. So small business owners matter, right? So check her out. Go to the historic downtown Kernersville. Is it 111 Main Street?
Yes, 111 North.
111 Main Street. There's a yellow door, right? Is it yellow?
Yellow
Okay,
door.
so if you're driving by like I am and you don't know where you're going, because remember that, look for the yellow door. It's at the intersection of, is that Main and Mountain?
Main and Mountain.
It's at the intersection of Main and Mountain. See, I know my way now because I've been there a couple times. But that first time I was riding up and down the street, I was texting. I said, "Where are you?" I wasn't texting and driving, but I stopped the text and I said, "Where are you?" And she told me I walked past. I think I had walked past it. I hadn't walked past it, but I had parked down the street or something. I'd driven past it.
You did.
But anyway, so the last time I went to the store, you were giving somebody else directions. Remember that? I knew where I was going that time, but I walked right in. So what Aixa is going to talk about today is not just her great story, and she is going to talk about that. And she's going to talk about the importance of planning. Whether we're talking about business or life, you have got to be a good planner. And part of planning is knowing how to adjust. And so last year she had to adjust because when she was planning on opening the store, nobody knew about this pandemic yet, right? But she had to adjust, and she adjusted so quickly that she was still able to open her store in June. You know, people are even saying to me, "You got a client opening a store now?" And I said, "Yeah, bad, isn't it?" I said, "Our clients, they don't play. When they set out to do something, they get it done because they plan to be successful." So what I'm going to do, I know y'all want to hear me just keep talking, right? No, y'all want me to put myself on mute so you can hear from Aixa, because she is our guest speaker today. She's going to talk for as long as she wants, and then we're going to have opportunities to ask her questions. And she might even answer those questions. You might answer those questions, right?
Maybe.
It depends what they are. If we're nice enough. If we ask them with a smile, she's much more likely to answer those questions. So with that, I'm going to put myself on mute. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you. All right, let's see if I can share my screen here. Yes, I can. Can you guys see my screen okay?
Yes, we can see it.
All right, great. All right, so like Alan said, yes, my name is Aixa Haskins. I am the owner of Aixa Maria's Gift Baskets. It's located in downtown Kernersville. He explained it pretty well, at 111 North Main Street with the bright yellow door. What we do is we help people create beautiful and thoughtful gifts for anyone on their list while still keeping their budget in mind. We work with your budget, not the other way around. We carry gift baskets, but we also carry a variety of other items, such as logo candles and treats and home decor. We have a lot packed in our 300 square foot little shop with the yellow door. And you can also visit our website at aixamariasgiftbaskets.com. We do have our grand opening celebration anniversary coming up next weekend, well, this weekend. I still keep thinking it's the weekend. On Friday and Saturday, you can stop by between our business hours on Friday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. And on Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., we're gonna have giveaways, we're gonna have treats, we're gonna have sales, all kinds of great things. So make sure you stop by. All right, so what I would love to talk to you about today is the importance of planning for your business and helping you find the balance. When I first started at the Small Business Center last year in February, was supposed to be just a 3-month-long program, which because of the pandemic and turned into about 6 or 7 months, I think it was. So had to plan for that. And along with that, I was working a full-time job, a part-time job, taking the Small Business Center challenge, and I have a family at home as well. In the midst of trying to open up my own business. So planning for me is very, very important. And because of all of that, I have been able to quit my full-time job and my part-time job. And now my gift basket store is my job. All right, so with planning, it helps you identify goals and it helps you to plan for the future. It also allows you to consider the impact that you would like to have and finding ways on how to get there, whether it's impact on your business, growth, or impact on your life, such as balance. When you plan to succeed. Otherwise, you wouldn't make those plans. Let me move there we go. It's very easy to get distracted when you don't block out time. So you have to make sure that you set a schedule and that you stick to it. By sticking to your schedule, it's going to help you manage your time way more efficiently. It leads to a much more productive workday, and you're less likely to have to try to figure out what you're supposed to be doing. You know, I do that. Well, I've done that plenty of times, looking like a chicken with its head cut off because I didn't make my list for that day. You're also less likely to overlap, whether you're overlapping appointments or overlapping gift basket making time. It doesn't matter. You're less likely to do that with a schedule. You're also less likely to waste time on things that add little to no value to your bottom line. I've done that a lot too. Scheduling also helps you to prioritize your responsibilities. It allows you to prepare for uncertainty, and it allows you to become more flexible. There's different types of schedule. I like to use all of these. I actually start backwards from how I have it laid out here, but there's a daily schedule, and if you can, schedule your time down to the hour if at all possible. Weekly schedules, monthly schedules, and of course you're going to add things as they come along. And there's yearly schedules, planning in advance so that you can create and manage those goals. Some people might want to go beyond a year, but I prefer to stick to a year, and I kind of work my way backwards. So for example, I host a variety of craft and vendor shows each year in addition to my store. And so as far as the yearly goes, I like to plan out what days and the times for those craft shows so that I can make sure that I have my event venue rented out. And that way it also gives vendors the time to prepare and apply and things like that so that we can all get ready for these craft shows. And then from that point, I kind of work my way backwards. There's different kinds of scheduling tools. For me personally, I like the good old-fashioned planner and a pen. I know Alan loves to use his phone and his Google Calendar. Me, I like to have it in front of me. I like to have everything written down, and I like to look at my calendar every single day and see all of the colorful things, all of the things I've crossed out. I prefer to have it in pen and paper. But there's lots of people like Alan that prefer it on their phone. There's even apps that you can use like Calendly. I actually use the Calendly app. I pay a small monthly fee for that app, but what that does for me is it allows other vendors to be able to participate in pop-ups at my store. So it gives them the space to look at what's available. And then I wind up going back and looking at that app and putting it all together in my planner. There's also websites such as Sign Up Genius. For my son, his Taekwondo center uses that Sign Up Genius in order to schedule out his lessons. So the key is finding what works for you, even if it's a combination of a couple of them, as long as they wind up in one space in the end so that you don't have it everywhere. Being prepared for the unexpected and being flexible. Planning your day and your week can also help you plan for the unexpected and to create contingency plans. For example, planning for my gift basket delivery schedules and being able to add in same-day delivery requests if I have an opening. So if I do, that gives me the potential to add more value to my bottom line, and it also adds a happy client in the end. However, if I don't, at least I'm able to look at my schedule clearly so that I can be honest with my customer and with myself and say, I'm so sorry, I don't have the availability today, we're booked. However, this is what we do have. And they can make the decision from there because we can't be in two places at one time. You have to use your judgment and your schedule as guidance. There's all kinds of things that you should plan for and that you could plan for, such as calls with clients, administrative tasks down to the nitty-gritty, marketing, whether it's posting an ad in the paper or a magazine. You can even schedule your social media posts. You want to schedule for budgeting, purchasing your supplies, emails, updating your website, uploading content and images, and even network opportunities. There's going to be so much more to that list, but I always like to say there's always something, because whether I'm done with my list or not, I feel like something else is being added, and there's always something, but it always gets added to the list, whether it's for that same day or another time. Just as important is to keep the word no in your back pocket. I had a very hard time with that, and even still occasionally I have a hard time with it, but it's equally as important as saying yes. And it's equally as important as scheduling. It's also very helpful when you're making realistic decisions and goals. And it helps prevent you from becoming overwhelmed, as if you're not already overwhelmed, it helps you from becoming even further overwhelmed. There's a quote that I found by Steve Jobs that I really love, and it says, "It's only by saying no that you can concentrate on the things that are really important. And until you tell somebody your first no, you won't really know what that means." So I challenge you to say your first no this week. It's also important to establish a no work zone. So whether it's for an hour or an evening or an entire weekend, you have to commit to no work, no emails, no business calls for a period of time. That is a part of your planning because you also have to plan time for yourself. This gives you the dedicated time and space for connecting with your loved ones, your friends, or even just alone time. Another big one, it is okay to ask for help. You have to take note of which tasks are interfering with your ability to better manage and balance your time. You have to keep track of these things. If you have an employee or a friend or a family member that's capable of taking on those tasks, you can ask them to do it. Or even if you, so far as contract someone to help you with things, it frees up your schedule even just a little bit to work on critical tasks that only you can work on, preserving your time in the end. Another quote that I found that I liked is, "You can buy a lot of things, but you cannot buy back your time." And that is so true. Along with planning, you have to limit your time-wasting activities and people. It sounds a little bit harsh, but it's just an important part of our reality. You have to identify what is really important in your life and your business, and you have to have firm boundaries. Trim from your schedule as needed, and you have to establish rules to keep yourself on task, whether it's no Facebook during these certain times. And I did recently find out that Facebook has a quiet time. So I actually did turn that on. So from a certain point in time at night to a certain point in time in the morning, Facebook is off limits to me unless I turn it off. But what's the point? You can turn off your email notifications. Make sure that you only schedule time during a certain time of day or 2 certain times of day to reply to those emails. Don't just sporadically do it because that's wasting a lot of energy and time. And remembering that it is okay to say no. Maybe you have a request for a night out with some friends, but you know that you have to get up early the next morning. It's okay to say no. Or maybe you're at work with less constructive people that are taking up too much of your time. They want to go have a conversation over here when you know that you could be getting something done over here. It's very okay to say no and politely walk away. The better you are for yourself, the better you are for your friends, your family, and everyone else that's important to you. I found that it's also very important to build a routine. With my son being in school, he actually is just ending kindergarten. Tomorrow's his last day. From virtual to going to school to having this, that, and the other, my routine is always changing, but it's very important that I know what's going on so that I can accommodate my routine accordingly, whether it's for work or my personal life. So with that, you have to decide what needs to be done. You have to set small goals. You have to lay out the plan and be consistent with your time. You have to be prepared. Find ways to make it fun if you can, and track your progress. And then if you so choose, you can reward yourself once you have mastered that routine, whether it's a new outfit or dinner or coffee or just some alone time, which I really like. And then ending my presentation on planning is a couple of quotes that I really love. You have, "Time may be free, but it's priceless. And plans are worthless, but planning is everything." And I hold that very near and dear to my heart because it has helped me through a whole lot. Thank you.
Thank
That was
you.
great. Thanks.
That was great. Awesome.
I apologize. Zoom kicked me out. I heard you say thank you. You did an outstanding job, and I want to elaborate on a couple of things that you said, but man, that was great. Now the floor is going to be open for questions that you'll have, right? So let me just reinforce one of the things that she said. the importance of saying no. There's actually a class that we offered at the Small Business Center. We haven't offered it for a few years, but it's called Being More Productive by Saying No. And I love the Steve Jobs quote as well. One of the things that we often say is that in order to say yes to the right things, you may have to say no to the good things. Saying no to someone doesn't mean you're a bad person working on a bad thing. It just means I can't focus on it right now. If anybody's a bad person, I'm a bad person because I don't have time to enjoy that thing, right? But I've got to say yes to the things that are my priorities. And planning allows you to do that, allows you to know when you can say yes and when you have to say no. And you also mentioned, and I can't remember how you worded it, but sometimes there are people who don't necessarily promote your progress. Ooh, that sounds good. Let me quote that. There are people who don't necessarily promote your progress, right? And we're not saying they're bad people, but their focus at the time and your focus at the time are not consistent or compatible. So we learn as we grow how to say it, because sometimes we don't want to hurt somebody else's, or we never want to hurt somebody else. Well, maybe sometimes we do, but generally we don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. So we need to learn how to say, I've got this thing that I've got to execute on. And if I don't do it, nobody will. And if nobody does, it's going to be bad for everybody. So I'd really like to come to your event, but I've got to do this instead, and here's why. And if you feel, if you feel like you've got to explain it. But no is a complete sentence also. So if somebody says, hey, can you be at such and such? You don't have to give more than an explanation. NO period is all you need to say. So everything that you said added value. It's weird that I'm sitting in my office and I get kicked out of the internet. I mean, I'm on my computer. Why in the world did I get kicked out? But I did. Technology is not perfect. But back to what you did, Aixa, this is outstanding. And I love the examples that you gave. The launch challenge was supposed to be 3.5 months and end up being the majority of the year. But you had to plan, and your planning allows you to make the adjustments. None of us were ready for COVID-19 to turn the world upside down. Some businesses did pretty well. Some businesses were completely destroyed. Some of that is because of planning. Now, even before the pandemic, you were planning to open around June, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most people who were planning to open in June, the pandemic and everything that came with it would have made it impossible for you to open in June. But good planning was one of the reasons why you were able to move forward. So thank you so much for sharing that. Let me open the floor to those of us who are on Zoom to ask your questions. And then those of us who are watching on Facebook Live, you can still ask your questions. I'm paying attention to the live. So ask your questions there and I'll make sure to get it. By the way, I don't know if he was talking about me. I doubt he was talking about me, but Monty Simmons said amazing. So that was probably directed at you, Aixa.
Thank
you. Monty will clarify if it was meant for me, but I know him well enough to know, no, that wasn't meant for me. but do any of you all have any questions for Aixa?
Aixa, thank you. I thought your presentation was great and very motivating. Congratulations on your shop. And now, what kind of things do you have in your shop to create baskets?
In my shop, I have I've got local items. I've got K Vegas nuts. I have a local company that has candles. I sell jewelry in there. There's chocolates, there's spa products, all kinds of things, but also the majority of my custom baskets I go shopping for. So it's kind of like a personal gift shopping experience as well.
Okay, so the ones that's in your shop, that's if somebody want a last minute basket to treat someone.
Yeah, even that, or I've even had people bring items to me and I put all of their items together in a basket. All kinds of options. I even sell wine now. Yes, wine.
Hey,
that too.
yes. Okay, that's awesome. Okay, and you're not too far from me, so I'm definitely gonna come down and check you out.
I look forward to seeing you in person.
And thanks for the time tips. I know this year I've really gotten into my planning and my schedule and really sticking to it. And I've been horrible, even with the grocery list. I will go and as I'm picking things up that's not on the list, I'll write them on my list. Like that makes it valid. So, I'm getting better with sticking just to that.
Thanks. It's progress, work in progress.
Absolutely.
Hey, everybody, I have something. I don't know if it's a question or just a comment, but
Hey, Tasha.
it kind of is like a question. Hey, how you doing? Like Aixa, because it's darkest for you, so towards you since it's the planning. Okay, in your business, like I don't even know how to put the question. All right, say a crisis. You have a crisis in your family, and you have your business on one side, and then you have your family on the other side, and you're trying to build this business. Like with the pandemic, it was like you didn't know if you were going to succeed or not because of the pandemic and the things that you do with the gift baskets. You had to really pivot and figure out what to do. So my situation, I have like a crisis going on in my family, and I have just started my business this year. And the crisis that's happening is like really slowing me down from doing all the things that I need to be doing right now. So what kind of advice would you give somebody that has like a crisis and is like, it's slowing you down? You're not going to stop, but it's slowing you down and you still have to do everything. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to put the question together while I'm talking.
I think I understand what you're saying. So I'm going to give you an example. So this past weekend, I actually wound up having to deal with a health issue while I was at my store. And as much as I don't want to close my store, I had to make the decision to close my store for a couple of hours. So I took care of my health, myself, and my concern. And then I was able to come back the next day with a different perspective and still open my store and take care of business. So whether it's something like that, or whether it's something where maybe your family crisis is something that you're dealing with in the daytime, maybe you take that extra hour or two and you stay up that hour or two extra at nighttime to handle business only. Or you wake up before everybody else in your family wakes up and you handle business only. If it's something that you're really adamant that you're not going to stop, you're going to continue with your business, there's going to be some time at some point in the day, whether it's 10 minutes or whether it's 2 hours, to take for your business only.
You know, I noticed in social media, so you had posted something about, hey, I'm closed, go away. No, you didn't say it like that, but you said, I'm closed, thanks for your understanding. And most people, of course, if they drove an hour to get to you, of course, they'd be upset if they get to you and they're not there. But most people understand that things come up. I mean, for all of us, things come up. And sometimes things come up in a way that might impact somebody else. But we get it. Here you are, you're celebrating your first anniversary, you're a small business owner. Something came up and unexpectedly you closed earlier than you had planned. You know, I'm sure you were stressing out over the fact that had to happen, but guess what? You probably didn't lose any customers. There may have been somebody who said, okay, they're closed. But they, you know, I can't remember exactly what the sign or the post said, but they could go to your website and still check things out and even make a purchase or come back the next day. I mean, hopefully when we say no, there aren't consequences for the other person, but we have to do what we have to do to take care of us. And odds are, whoever saw that note understood, and they said, okay. Now, if it happens every other day, that might be something to be addressed, but this was a rare occurrence, right? So it didn't faze me. I mean, I saw it. I mean, now if I was on the way and I was coming all the way from Alabama, you know, we have a problem. But that wasn't the case. And more than likely, it's not going to be the case that it's going to cause a huge problem for somebody else. So we've got to say no to some things in order that we can say yes to other things. How do I say it? You got to say no to the good things in order to say yes to the right thing, and you did that. And if people don't understand, I mean, I hate to say it like this because we don't want to lose any customer, but if that's the customer that we lose, then they were going to probably cause a problem for us in some other way, right? So, but we don't want to lose any customer. But if somebody can't understand, you got to take care of yourself. You've heard of the concept of firing a customer or firing a volunteer, or you don't want to ever have to do that. But if you had to do it, that's who you fire. Somebody who doesn't care about what's best for you. And so back to your question, Tasha, always do what's best for you. And if people don't understand, shame on them, because they want you to understand when they're going through something. Oh, and so by the way, Tasha, whenever you email me, you never say I'm sorry anymore. You don't have to. All
Okay.
right? I know you don't have to.
Okay.
We're there, right? So
Right.
Annette, you gotta apologize though when you send me. Just kidding.
What happened was, whatever starts off like that is trouble.
I'm just joking though. People should understand I I get emails every day from somebody who is letting me know that they couldn't do this or they couldn't do that. Okay. If they say, I don't like you, you're ugly, then, we're going to fight. But except for Annette, look, Annette about to say that, but I was going to say, most people wouldn't say that. They would just say, I can't do such and such. And that's a part of business, but it also gets back to what Aixa was saying about planning. We have to plan for the unfortunate things that are going to come up every once in a while. And we have to give some thought, if they do come up, how am I going to deal with it? Maybe we're all just good at thinking off the cuff in the heat of the moment, but I have to plan for stuff like that. I like to believe that everything is going to go smoothly just the way that you planned it, but many things don't. And so being a small business owner, the importance of planning is even greater. So I'm glad that you spent time. And by the way, that was an excellent presentation, and she had the animation in there, and she had all these cool icons.
Slide.
Yeah, icons
Nice.
and
Mhm.
I'm like, check this out. You do that just for us?
Just for you.
Man, I feel special.
Special.
All right, can you do it again tomorrow?
Got it.
You have to say no, right?
You
It's
check
all
my
good.
schedule and get back to you.
No, it's all good. It's all good. So what other questions do you all have for Aixa about planning or about her business that's celebrating 1 year grand opening anniversary?
That is awesome. What are you doing for your 1 year? What's the celebration?
I'm going to have lots of sales. I'm going to have giveaways, treat bags to go away with. May have music too. So we'll see lots of good things. I got sneak peeks going on my social media. So check it out.
So
What's your social,
follow her.
what's your social media?
Aixa Maria's gift baskets.
Okay, it's the same. Okay.
Mhm.
So Monty shared a cool quote. I see that Rich has a question. Monty shared that failure is the path to success if you learn from it. So failure
Amen.
by itself is ugly, right? But failure and learning from that failure puts you in a position to be more successful in the future. I love how he shared that. So thank you. Rich, what is your question?
First, I want to say thank you for the presentation. It was awesome. I would like to know if we have any hacks, scheduling hacks, planning hacks for beginners. Do you have any of those? Something that you learned along the way you wish you would have known in the very beginning of planning and scheduling your business?
The only, I guess, hack that comes to mind, because I'm very much a paper and pen type of person, would be to start off with a paper and pen, whether it's a planner or a notebook, whatever it is, so you don't forget. My best friend actually got me a very special notebook for that purpose, because I can be forgetful if I don't write it down. So there's a little notebook that I carry around every single day, everywhere I go. And anytime somebody tells me something that I need to remember, I write it down and I put it back in my pocket, and then it goes in my schedule.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Paper and pen.
And Rich, let me also say that we have a program. I think it's been on Wednesday once, but every other week this year, it's been on a Tuesday. It's called Spotlight on Small Business. And there are more than 30 different businesses that are participating in this. And I want to start asking that question of them. Some of them have told their story of some things that maybe they did that they would do differently now, or maybe they didn't do that they would do now. But I love that question. And if you would tune in tomorrow, tune into the Facebook Live when we're doing it, and I'll try to pay attention to the Facebook Live while we're talking, and you add the question in there. So if I don't ask it, remind me. Just say,
Okay.
yo, dude, you said you were going to ask this question. Because that is an outstanding question. And so many of us can learn from others' missteps. And maybe we won't have that misstep when it's our turn.
Ourselves. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I bump my head so you don't have to bump your head.
Exactly. And one of the things that I've learned is that people want other people to be successful too. I mean, it feels like it's a dog-eat-dog world out there, and we feel like, well, if Aixa is successful, then that takes away from my ability to be successful. And if Annette's successful, but I think a lot of small business owners really have an attitude of, we're in this small business community together, and
we share the success.
Yeah, let's share the success.
Yes.
And maybe I'm just hanging out with the right people, but it feels like the people I'm hanging out with want everybody to win. And we're better when other people win, because if your customers are happy with you, they're going to be happy with you when you refer them to me. They're probably going to call me because it's coming from a source that they respect, right? And so I think the small business owners that I know have good relationships with other small business owners, and they want to help each other to all win. There's enough business for all of us. There's enough business for all of us to be successful. So let's do it. And so to your point, Rich, if we can help somebody else, if we can grow from somebody else bumping their head, let's do that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I
because in
wanted to
business,
ask
I wanted
before
to add that, because in business, as you're going to bump your head, you'll learn a lesson from someone else. But unless you're growing, that's the only way you're not going to bump your head, if you're not growing. So you want to do those things and learn a different route, but always be prepared to bump your head and learn from it. And that's the exciting thing, right? Because you always have a story to tell.
Yep.
I got a lot of bumps and bruises we'll discuss.
Great. Rich, were you going to say something else?
Yeah, I was going to ask, what time is the spotlight on small business?
It's 2:00.
Oh, 2. Okay, beautiful.
Yeah, it's not the same time every week, but here's the best thing to do. Go to the Small Business Center at Forsyth Tech page on Facebook.
Okay.
And click on the with the thumbs up sign. And then every time we go live, you'll get a notification. We typically go live on Mondays when we have a guest speaker like Aixa is today. We typically go live on Tuesdays when we have Spotlight on Small Business. Sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 4. We typically go live on Wednesdays when we have Marketing Outside the Box, which is 12:30 to 1:30. And then other times we go live because either there's another educational event, or today I just went live because I forgot to let everybody know about the 1-year anniversary of Aixa Marie's gift baskets, and also the 3-year anniversary of Himalayan Hideaway. So I just, I went live in the morning because I give a commercial each Monday morning to say, here's what's going on here. And then a couple hours later, I was looking at my calendar and I said, how did I forget to mention that? So I went live for another 2 minutes just to let people know that we've got some awesome ladies with some awesome businesses that would like to see you this Friday and Saturday. But if you hit the like sign, be notified, you'll know every time we go live with one of those things or Spotlight on Small Business.
Okay, I'll do that right now.
Perfect.
Thank you for that. Oh,
All right. Are there any other questions for Aixa? All right. So Aixa, is the store open today?
Nope, we're closed on Sunday and Mondays.
It feels good, doesn't it? 'Cause I see you're at your house. So in order for her to say yes to Tuesday through Saturday, she says no on Sunday and Monday, right?
Right.
We got to take care of ourselves. And so she planned it accordingly. I bet the traffic on a Monday wouldn't be nearly as much anyway, as
It
compared to
wasn't.
a Saturday, Sunday.
I tried it. It wasn't.
You tried it? It
Mhm,
wasn't
I
work?
was. Nope. I was 6 days when I first opened, and it didn't work. So now I'm 5.
You need to, be 5 days. And sometimes, in business, and this is a part of planning too, we have to plan to make adjustments when they make sense. So when she first opened, she was 6 days. But what she was doing was paying attention. How many people coming in here? How many people are calling here? How many people are actually purchasing from here?
I
And it
had
didn't
a
make sense.
clicker. Yep.
Yeah. You had the old school clicker.
I
They
had an
still
old
sell
school
those.
clicker. Yeah.
So she made the decision that she could be much more effective on those 5 days than to be open 6 days. I bet you even play with the hours too. I bet you probably opened at 8 a.m. And then you say, what? Why in the world am I open at 8 a.m.? So now you open at 11 a.m., right? So, I mean, who's coming at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, right? So sleep in or stay at home and do something else. Or, I'm sure getting your son to school requires your attention, all that stuff. Or summer camp, wherever he is. Now, is school out? School's not out yet, is it?
Tomorrow is his last day.
Tomorrow's the last day. Well, good thing the store doesn't open till 11 because you want to, last day is special.
Very.
Are you going to cry?
Oh, I'm gonna cry.
You're gonna cry. She even put that in her plan. So she put in her calendar that she was
Time
going to cry on Tuesday morning. Because her little boy is growing up. Her little boy's growing up. My baby is going to be 20 this year. My babies are grown up.
No.
My oldest turned 23 last week.
You're going to be doing a lot of
I
crying.
remember kindergarten. I remember when they were in kindergarten. I don't remember when I was in kindergarten. Oh my God. But I remember when they were in kindergarten. All right. So thank you so much, Aixa. I'm going to stop the live stream here. Those of you who joined us, thank you very much. Share it, tell somebody about these videos, and encourage folks to make their way to historic downtown Kernersville. Look for the yellow door at 111 Main Street at the intersection of Main and Mountain. Yeah.
That's right.
I know where it is now.
And if you don't, you just call me and I'll tell you how to get there.
That's right. That's right. But thank you all for joining us, and we look forward to connecting with you tomorrow.